Christ. Look at you, all dressed in black. Are you in the police or the priesthood?
That depends, doesn't it, eh?
Depends on what?
Depends on how eligible you are to making a full confession.
Oh, I like you. You're a fly, man. Didn't need my brief?
No, it won't be necessary. This isn't a formal interview. You're not under caution. You're just assisting us with our inquiries, and we're grateful for that. We just need to wrap up a few details in relation to the death of your wife.
She took her own life. Why are we going through that again?
Well, because you haven't gone through it with me. Sorry, that's the wrong foot, isn't it? It's, I'm DCI Paul Salinger.
Alfie Phelps.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
I've seen you.
Yeah, you've been something of a regular customer in our shop over the years, haven't you? Excluding what happened to your wife, I mean.
I've had some encounters over the years. Some people need their attitudes adjusted.
Yeah, like that bloke that accidentally nudges you in the pub, spilling a small amount of your beer and ending up in hospital with life-changing injuries. You mean that sort of attitude adjustment?
I did time for that, which I shouldn't have.
You beat him within an inch of his life all because of a slight accidental beer spillage. He apologised profusely and offered to buy you another pint, but well, that wasn't enough for you, was it, eh? Didn't satisfy the rage. That rage that's inside of you. Always seeking expression.
Well, a man's got to do what he's got to do sometimes, eh?
Anyway, would you believe it? My manners are absent again. Do you want a drink? Tea, coffee?
No.
You hungry? We have an enticing selection of fructose-saturated goodies in the vending machine. Mostly a mouth-watering confection of chocolate, caramel and biscuit.
No. What's Pinky and Perky doing here?
Pinky and Perky, eh? Yeah, you see, they wouldn't get that. They're too young to understand the pig reference, so as an insult, it's largely ineffective.
But what, when I was a wee laddie and my dad took me to the pub, whenever a couple of police walked in, he'd always say, "Here comes Pinky and Perky," and fuck me if everybody didn't piss themselves laughing.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing. Yes. You know, this job, when it runs smooth, it can be the best job in the world. When you assemble and present evidence to the courts, secure a conviction, and a certain balance is restored. Other times, well, other times it's like being Shane McGowan's dentist.
So fucking what?
Well, I just thought it might provide some insight into what we do here, right? I suppose my point is that this job does test you in many ways. You know, you become very familiar with your strengths and your weaknesses. Especially your weaknesses. And it's always been my belief that any man that doesn't invite an exploration of his own weakness will falter at some point, because if he doesn't find them in himself, then the chances are that somebody else will. Thanks, Debbie.
Debbie, yeah? You fucking her?
No, why would you say that, eh?
Well, I'd fucking like to smash her back door in.
You really are a modern-day version of your namesake, aren't you, eh? What's it all about, Alfie? Yeah. Classic 60s British film starring Michael Caine. Stage play as well, yeah? You seen it? The film's main subject is the attitude to and the treatment of women by a particular type of man. His behaviour, the Michael Caine character towards these women, and then the consequences of that behaviour upon them, all very richly detailed in the film.
Is it violent?
No. No, it's not violent, no.
Yeah, I've seen that Harry Brown. That was all right.
Yeah, I prefer Harry Palmer.
Is he?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Well, get on with it.
Yeah, sure. Last thing I want to do would be to impede upon your valuable drinking time. Now, as you know, I wasn't involved in the original investigation of your wife's death, but I've been asked to revisit certain aspects of it from the file.
Get on with it. Go on.
No. So, your wife was found hanged in the bedroom, yeah? And your DNA was found on her when we conducted our test post-mortem.
I found her hanging. I went in the room and I cut her down. And that's when the DNA was transferred.
Oh, right, yeah. But I see an alternative explanation would have been that you strung her up on that rope yourself.
So did you explain the sleeping pills?
Well, you could have put them in the wine she drank that night. There was alcohol in her system as well. And it's extremely unusual for someone intent in taking their own life to take pills and hang themselves, you know. It's pretty much unheard of, really. You had quite a shiner that night too, didn't you? I know you said you got the black eye from a fight in a pub that night, but... well, we couldn't find anyone who could corroborate your version of events relating to that. In fact, we couldn't find anyone who saw you in the White Horse or, well, any other pub in the area on the night of your wife's death.
There's a few. Don't remember where.
Oh, right, okay. So now you can't remember which pub because now it's not the White Horse, or where this pub was, or who you were talking to in that pub that night at all.
I guess so.
Huh? Well, that again, if you don't mind me saying, it's pretty much unheard of. Do you know one of the many amazing things about the human body is its capacity to survive? To protect itself, you know, to protect us. It's a similar function to what is known as the autonomic nervous system. That's the system that operates independently of the will, like the heart beating, you know. The heart will just continue to beat without us continuously having to think about it. It'll just do it. Now, certain parts of the rest of our body have similar capabilities.
That's all very interesting.
Like, just imagine, for example, I don't know, a husband trying to hang his wife. Right? He'd lift the unconscious body up and then he'd stick her head in a noose. And as he was doing that, right, her arms would lash out because the body wants to protect itself, you know, it wants to survive. Now just imagine, at that moment, he gets hit in the face by his wife's flailing arms and ends up with a black eye. Wouldn't that be something, eh?
You know nothing. You've got nothing.
You know, I grew up around blokes like you. A lot of them good, decent blokes, you know, assured in their masculinity. Not afraid to be sensitive or tender when there's feelings arise. They didn't do macho because they were confident, right? And they emanated them. They knew themselves and they knew their values. And then there are other men. Similar to you in many ways, I reckon. So desperate to project their manliness. So insecure in their manliness and really such bullshitters. Right, they're bullshit about how much money they've made, how many pints they get down of an evening, how many birds they'd shagged.
You're pissing me off now.
Do you know what? I saw you with your new girlfriend a few weeks back. Yeah, I saw you both together. Do you know, one thing that really jumped out at me was how different she was to your wife. Because there's pictures of her wife in the file, and, well, she had a very womanly, you know, curvaceous figure. Like those, remember those pictures of Marilyn Monroe? Yeah, you'd see. What's it called again? Rubenesque. Yeah, like an hourglass figure. It's very attractive.
Did you want to fuck her?
But you see, your new girlfriend, well, I mean, she's nothing like her, is she? I mean, she's so thin. I mean, she's like really skinny. I mean, if you looked at her from behind, well, you could almost mistaken her for a man, right? Well, no, actually, no, not even a man. More like an adolescent boy. Oh, of course, yeah. That's it, isn't it? Well, don't you see? Your desperate projection of manliness, the up and down look you gave me when I came in the room, your predilection for anal sex, and your skinny ass girlfriend who looks more like an adolescent boy, eh? Hey, come on, Phelps. Time to introduce yourself to your true nature, eh, Phelps?
You are under arrest for assaulting a police officer. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something related to violence.